Hi, guys. At 5 o'clock, we have Mr. Viplav Biram is a dear friend of mine, and he is now the uh, fitness director for Ahmedabad Racquet Academy. So let me introduce him. He's here. Just a moment. In the next couple of minutes. Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
to see you.
Yes, very nice to see you after a long
Very
time. How are
good
you?
to see you. Yes, all fine, sir. Very nice. So, this is, guys, let me introduce, this is Dr. Viplav, and he is now the fitness director for Ahmedabad Racquet Academy. He's also a former, he was a physiotherapist as well as trainer at Gopichand Academy, Pulela Gopichand Academy in Hyderabad. So, yeah, he's basically a physiotherapist, and who's so keen about sport because he played he was into sports, and that is how sports interested him more, right, sir?
Yes, sir. I remember as kids, we used to
Yeah,
play cricket, yeah,
we used to
back
play cricket at,
always.
in our colony, and that's how. Sir,
Yes.
I want it would be great if you could tell all of us how it all started, from where it all started.
First of all, good evening to all the viewers who have joined in.
Yeah.
I would like to start with the current situation, what we are going through. I hope everybody is doing fine. It is really, really difficult, and it is tough times we are going through, but we have to accept it is what it is.
Absolutely.
Just as the whole country and the whole world is talking about, social distancing and staying home, staying safe. I think everybody should follow. They have to take individual responsibility. Owning the responsibility is more important, I believe. So I hope you all please stay home and stay safe, stay healthy, and stay together. And I'm sure we will definitely win, and we will come out of this soon. Um, to Kiran sir's question, as kids, everybody loves to play sports. We used to play a lot of sports. We used to play a lot of cricket. There used to be a small ground behind our house, so we used to meet up there. Especially during summer holidays, we used to spend almost whole day there. I remember.
Yeah.
Um, and so it all started there, I believe. And I was more inclined towards becoming a doctor because, when we were studying, I think doctor and engineer were the two career options which always were
The
given.
only options.
The only two options we used to have, I believe.
Yeah.
So it all started there. But however, I was inclined towards becoming a doctor, especially a cardiologist,
Yeah.
cardiac surgeon actually. But it didn't work out because I didn't get a good rank, and obviously I was into sports too, so I wanted to do sports medicine. But again, my rank, the entrance exam rank which I got through, I couldn't get through. So there was this auntie, my dad's colleague in the office. So she called me one day, and I went there, and she was like, "Viplav, did you know about physiotherapy?" And I was like, "No, auntie, I don't know." No, you must explore this one because my daughter is doing physiotherapy and she is enjoying it. So I went back and I did a little bit of research, and then what I saw was, a Bachelor of Physiotherapy and Masters of Physiotherapy. That was interesting. But what caught my eye was you can be a Master of Physiotherapy in sports medicine,
Okay.
in sports injuries and all those things. So that actually caught my eye. And I
Oh.
was like, wow, because sports is a passion and wanted to be a doctor. This is a paramedical course, although, I'm not going to use a knife and cut open the just to open the heart and do surgeries, but still I can do something related to medicine and related to sports. So, this created that interest, that ignited the fire. And I started exploring more about it. And that's when a lot of physiotherapy was actually coming into the picture in sports. And Dr. Ali Irani was the Indian cricket team physio at that time.
Yes,
And
exactly.
there was an article in one of the newspapers about Sachin Tendulkar's injury. So that's what actually created more interest, and I looked into the colleges and all those things, and I got through Manipal University. There it was called Manipal Academy of Higher Education at that time. And now it is called Manipal University. Then it is in Karnataka.
Yeah.
Then it is a 4.5 years full-time program. I did that. And luckily, by God's grace and my parents' blessings and all well-wishers like you, I came out with flying colors. I was the gold medalist I was the first gold medalist from the whole university, actually.
Oh,
So,
wow. This is something we didn't know.
So
you hit from all of us.
It used to be given, gold medals were used to be given for physiotherapy only in the college, only for the class part of it. But ever since my graduation happened, that was the first time ever they introduced the university's best outgoing student, and I was the first person to come out with that gold medal. So yeah, and then what next was the question. I did my bachelor's there, and I finished in 2005. The next question was what next?
What next?
And obviously, I was fixed, like, sports is what I want to do.
Absolutely.
And serving the country was my passion again there, because I always wanted to don that Indian jersey on my shoulders. So as a passionate recreational sports person, I could not get through that long, but I wanted to do something where I could serve the country. So I thought this is the right track, and I chose to do the physiotherapy. I got an admission in UK, Leeds Metropolitan University. It is called Leeds Beckett University. Right now it is called Leeds Beckett University. And I did a 2 years course there. I did my master's in sports exercise injuries management.
It was very new. It was very new in India. I mean, probably not.
I think yes. It was just coming up. I mean, it was just coming up. Even until 2010, 2012, I think up to the London Olympics, or maybe 2010 Commonwealth Games. That's when actually it picked up well. But 2007, that's when I finished my my masters in the UK, and then I served.
You did an internship with. I want you to tell that. Interesting, which people don't know.
Yes. So I went to I worked with the Motown Rugby Club, which was a League One rugby club in the UK. So I was there with for 2 years with them. Then from there in 2009 I came back. Then 2009, because the whole people will probably think I am a fool, or maybe at that time they thought like that, because I left the UK and had come here. The whole idea was, I need to serve my country. That was the whole idea. And then in 2009, I came back. Sorry, 2007, I came back. 2008, there was this article in a newspaper. And it was on December 8th, 2008. And December 8th happens to be my birthday. So there was this article written by Gopichand. Saina Nehwal was coming, like, she was a big name that time in badminton.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Saina Nehwal needs a traveling physio was the title of the article in Deccan Chronicle.
Okay.
And I read all about it. I took that paper cutting. I packed my, I took all my certificates, all my files. I dressed up, took my bike, and went all the way to Gachibowli straight away. Straight away. Yes. And I went there, and Gopichand was there. He was training. I saw that training for half an hour, 45 minutes, and he finished. Then he walked into his office, and that's when he called me in. And I introduced myself, and I said, "This is what it is, sir, and this is my passion. I want to, be a part of the team." And he said to me, like,
I wish you had come a little early, Viplav, because we already hired someone.
Okay.
But surely, because you have this qualification and you are the right person for this kind of a job. But in future, if we need, if there is a requirement, we will definitely get back to you. And so did he. And what happened was, from then on, for 9 months, every day I used to go there. Like, not every day, every 15 days, every fortnight, I used to go to Gopichand Academy just to tell them ki, look, I am interested, I am still available, I want to come.
Yeah. Sure.
And 2009 December 31st, 5 p.m. I get a call from Gopichand, and he says, Viplav, are you still interested in working for the team? I said, yes, sir. And I was working as a part-time physiotherapist in a hospital in Banjara Hills.
Science.
I was walking out, yes, Sai Institute of Sports Injuries and Arthroscopy, CISA Hospital, which is famously it is known as. And then I was walking out after my part-time finished, my working hours. I was just walking out of the hospital, and I get this call, and Gopichand asked me, like, Viplav, are you still interested in working for the team? I was like, yes, sir, 100%. Right, then you are on duty from tomorrow. I walked back into the hospital straight away, and I said to the boss there, sir, I have been offered like this, and this is my passion, you know that. And this was to come one or the other day. I was very sure about it, and it is here today. So please accept my resignation. I'm very sorry to give you such a short and instant notice. And they were very, very kind, and they they were very happy that I got a job there. So 1st of January 2010 was my new adventurous this thing, I can say. It was all exciting. And the first thing I went was to the nationals in Guwahati in 2010, and I got a chance to travel with Saina Nehwal on my first very trip. So that was a blessing. That was a blessing, and it all started from there. The whole physiotherapy, sports physiotherapy passion all started from there, and it went on. Then I was associated with the team for almost 5 years, and then until 2015 I was there. 2014, end of 2014 I was there. It was a great experience. Like, I always had that dream of donning the Indian jersey with the flag on your heart. Right. And it all came true then. I was given my first Indian jersey as a team physio. So I still have it with me. It's very safe in my cupboard. I think you remember I used to come with that jersey, the red colored jersey, to the courts. Absolutely. Yes. So that was my first.
All your old students are all online waiting to hear from you.
Yeah. Yes. While I'm speaking, I'm seeing hi everyone who have just joined, while I was speaking. Welcome everyone. Very nice to see some very familiar names. Sai Shivani is here. Hi, Sai Shivani, all the way from US, I believe. I hope you are safe there. She's back here. Very nice. Okay. Yeah. So very nice to see you all, guys. So I'm just briefing about myself. Like, so the Indian team was a great journey for me, great learning experience. So what used to happen was I was a part of the team, and I had to work with the 40 members of the Indian camp. All the big names which you hear today: Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu, Kidambi Srikanth, Jwala Gupta was there, and Ashwini Ponnappa, Siki Reddy, all these people. Like, I was very lucky to be associated with them. And they were all little kids at that time. They are all great champions. They are the world icons today. But they were all little kids. It was a great journey with them. Working with them was great. So I used to travel a lot with them. I had been to quite a lot of countries with the team. I had been associated with them for the Commonwealth Games, the Asian Games, even the Olympics. I did not go to Olympics, but yeah, I was a part of the camp, the Olympics camp. Yeah. But it was a great thing. When you are a part of a Olympic medal winning team, you are on top of the world. Like, Yes. So 2012 was the first Olympic medal we won. Saina Nehwal got a bronze medal, and then we had a lot of gold medals during the 2010 and 2014 Commonwealth Games. Yeah. It was a great journey. my role used to be like, taking care of the players. That is very, very important, because I think a lot of players have joined in here, particularly um, our tennis players who are here. So what is important, I believe, is the players would never want to miss a day of their training or game or match or whatever it is.
Right.
And my role was to make sure that these guys are on the court all the time. So as the world today knows, most of the training programs, even the coaches for that matter, not only physios but the coaches and everybody, they are more inclined towards programs designed basing on the injury prevention concept.
Right. Absolutely.
So, yeah, so that was the whole concept. Gopi always used to tell us only one thing: just make sure the guys are fit. That's all he used to say.
Yeah.
He believed us very blindly, and we did the job 100%, and that's why you can see the result. So the whole Indian journey, the Indian team journey, was a great journey. And after that, I had to quit. The only reason being it was very far for me, and it used to consume a lot of time traveling, and moreover with the metro coming up. So I used to spend like almost 4 hours in traffic, which then that's when I decided to quit and set up my own clinic. So I had a setup in Tarnaka, near the OU campus. It was called Nakshatra Physiotherapy Clinic, and I ran it for like almost year and a half. And then I get a call from Ahmedabad Racquet Academy, and they inquired, like, would I be interested to be working with their team? And we struck a deal. We were happy both ways, and I was offered the director of fitness for the academy. So now I'm here. So in brief, this is a
10 years long
small
journey.
part of the journey. Yeah, it is definitely a long journey, but with a lot of experiences. I think each one of us, right from childhood, each and every day, we learn something or the other. And what you take from it is, I believe, is important. What positives you take, especially, and build on it, make a good career, live a good life, be happy, keep everybody happy. I think that's more important. And sir, we should not forget SCF ka Sai Baba sir.
Sai Baba sir, absolutely.
Yes. He was I should thank him, because he was the first person in Hyderabad who had given me opportunity to be associated with sports, and through him I made a lot of contacts. He is a great man. Even you have been
my dad's best
associated
friend,
with him.
a very close friend.
So
Thank you of my dad's close
we
friend.
have a lot of common friends for sure. Yeah. So I must not forget him, because this journey, Sai Baba sir also played a big role in my career.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
yeah. So that is in brief the journey, sir.
Absolutely, sir. That's really, it's not brief. It is so much. If you actually see, 10 years is not.
There is a lot of things, but it will take a whole day, I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to start off with, what I was, what probably all Indian people we wanted to know, is what kind of first thing is, when did you start training? Because you were, of course, more on physiotherapy. I think you started training. As far as I know, I'll tell you. I'll tell everyone. I think we saw few trainers. I don't want to name them. We, particularly when you were with Advantage Tennis Academy, so
yes.
we saw few trainers.
That's where it all began. The journey began there.
Absolutely. So and then we were not impressed with the trainer, and then that is when you actually started. Said, if I have to, do the second part, why not I do the primary part as well?
Yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be more detailed about Advantage, because I knew this question would come, like, when did you start training, and who was your first player, and all that stuff. Yeah, the journey began definitely at Advantage Tennis Academy. All thanks to Chandrasekhar sir and you for giving me that opportunity. Yep. Yes. So the training started there. Yes, surely it started all there. Yeah.
The training, not the physiotherapy part, the training. The training part.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yes, training the athletes. Yes.
Yeah, because we even today, if you actually see, we don't have very few. We can probably say 2 or 3 in Hyderabad even today who are good enough. Then that is when after we came to a conclusion that if you are on the receiving end, being a physio, why not be on the giving end?
Yes.
So I think that is
Yes.
where it also, and I think I'm not sure how much it would have helped you. I mean, I knew that I had to give you little more burden, but I don't know how, and you actually reacted to it. I was actually surprised that you said yes then and there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, see, we both know that that was our passion. We wanted to live that life, so it's always accepted. Yeah, and
Awesome.
I'm very thankful to you know Chandrasekhar sir and yourself for giving me that opportunity because it
It's
all made the difference for sure. Yeah.
it is so simple. The one it all depends. It is somebody who wants to do good for the players and all. We're always welcome, as you know. And sir,
Yes.
we'll go to the next one. Very simple. How uh, you were into badminton first, and then you moved to tennis. Now tennis
Yes.
is like full time for you,
Yes.
right? So you are doing badminton as well. The Ahmedabad Racquet Academy
In
has
Ahmedabad,
badminton
I am
also.
doing yeah, yeah. We are a multi-sport academy here.
Exactly. So, how was it? What were you? What were those things you were doing in badminton, and what were those important things you had to change, right? Badminton and
Yes.
tennis. And in initial stage, you were doing badminton as well as tennis. So, how
Yes.
were you able to manage, and what were the things there, and what were the things in tennis, badminton, and tennis?
Yeah. Sir, it was both difficult and also I can say uh, I
Challenging.
learned a lot. Challenging, yes, it was challenging. The
Yeah.
only reason is like when we talk about badminton players, they have a specified court measurements and they have particular movement patterns they have to follow. Uh,
Right.
Although tennis and badminton are both racket sport, but again, the movement patterns, the game format, the duration of the game, the
Yeah.
amount of energy you expend during these games, the quality of the game matters. The competitive level, all these things have to be considered when dealing with an athlete.
Right.
Um, so let me say there was a point where I was dealing only with badminton players. There was a point like now I deal with all the different sports, but there
Right.
was a point when I was doing only tennis players, and there was a point when I was doing both tennis and badminton players. So the major difference, the major issue, or not an issue, like the major difference between these two athletes is both are different types of athletes. If you
Right.
see a badminton match, the best of 3 sets, if it is a straight set, then maximum the athlete would play would be for an hour or hour 10 minutes.
Right.
Unlike tennis, if you go for I'm talking about a very competitive level.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, if you see tennis, if it is a best of 3 sets, if it goes to a three-setter match, then the duration of the game is longer. So technically, what I'm trying to say is a badminton player is more of a power and speed athlete. They need to be more fast on the court. Their movements are very limited. They have to take only one and a half step maximum to cover the whole court. So they have to be more explosive.
Yeah.
Unlike tennis is a combination of so many things. Tennis is a combination of power, speed, agility, and endurance.
Right.
Badminton has got a little bit of agility, more, power and agility. Although the components of a fit athlete remain the same for both the players,
Hmm.
the way you condition them makes a difference. Like I cannot make a badminton player do a crossover step
Right.
or a split
Exactly.
step, something like
Absolutely.
that.
And you can't make
My
tennis
training,
player shuffle.
yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't. I can't make a tennis player do a dribble drill or something like that. So although the concept is about, say, for example, we are talking about building up power, explosive power in both the athletes. If I have a badminton player and a tennis player together, and if I have to increase, say, upper body power for a badminton player, my my training program should involve something where it is more of overhead in badminton player.
Right.
Like for a tennis player, it's more of a diagonal and lateral pattern.
Perfect. Yes.
Yes. So these used to be a little bit of challenging, and there is a lot of groundwork. You know, obviously, as a coach, you do a lot of groundwork. As a fitness trainer, I do a lot of groundwork in designing the programs, because there are so many things we have to consider when it comes to athlete. The most important thing, like, you know, if we talk about starting from the beginning, if we have a new athlete coming into the academy or to the center, the most important thing is to assess and understand what type of an athlete he is. Is he made for the game? You know, we cannot say, you know, boss, you are not for the game, so please leave. You
Yeah.
can't say that. But
Absolutely.
we always have to give him an opportunity. But I can't train a 12-year guy exactly like a 20-year-old.
Perfect. Yes.
So all these factors make a lot of difference, and it becomes challenging. And in an academy setup, when you're dealing with players, you know, you have different age groups of players. You have right from a person who is like 8 to 10 years old to a person who is 16 to 18 years old at a pro level.
Yeah.
So if I am making them do the same kind of an exercise, call it a ladder drill or an agility drill, whatever it is, I can't expect a 12-year-old guy to do exactly the same thing like a 16-year-old. All I can do is, you know, kind of encourage him, say this
Right.
is what you need to do. And so that
Right.
used to be very challenging, actually, to just make sure that, you know, these guys are doing it right.
Right.
And the other aspect is, when a player comes to the academy, it's more important to understand what is required. I think most of the players these days also understand sports science, because there is a lot
Right.
of reading to do. They watch the matches, the pro matches happening, the grand slams and all those things, and there is a lot of analysis which is given, particularly in the Australian Open. If you see, when they in the break time, they give that analysis, how many sprints they have
Absolutely.
done, how many distance they have
Right.
covered, what energy they have done, expended, and all these things. You know, even the kids, I think they understand what is important. And so what happens is, at this point, we need to understand the athlete. What is the requirement of the athlete? Do we have to increase strength? Do we have to increase speed? And it all depends from what feedback the coach gives us, because, you know, I am not the one who first decides this is what needs to be done for the athlete. The coach does the
Absolutely.
initial assessment,
Right.
in relation to the game, and then we have a chat. I mean,
Yes.
this is how the process happens basically at a very professional level. The
Right.
coach sees the game, and then, you know, it comes to the physiotherapist and the conditioning coach, who they have a
Right.
discussion like, this is what we need to work on the athlete. Then we have a chat with the athlete saying that, you know, this is what we think is required for you. And then the conditioning coach works on the particular aspects which needs to be improved. And
Right.
if there is any history of injury, as a physiotherapist, my job would be like, you know, to make sure he is not he is not having an injury at the moment. Even if he had a injury, previous history of injury, it is more important what kind of a rehab he has gone through. Uh, was there any rehab program
So
given to
knowing
him or
history
not,
of
and
the
all?
player is very important here, and one of the
Very, very
aspects.
important. That
Right.
makes a big difference in the player's career, for sure. And most of the times, what happens, I think, particularly these athletes who understand the importance of what we are talking, the sports science behind any sport,
Hmm.
is, you know, the what is required, what needs to be fixed in my body. At a professional level, they understand. But, you know, this, especially the younger generation, what happens is they don't want to miss a day of training, or
Hmm.
they don't want to miss a match, or they don't want to miss a tournament. So what happens, that becomes challenging, because most of the times what problem I faced was, or most of them we face, is they hide injuries, and that is very, very
Yeah.
dangerous.
True. True. Correct.
Because because what happens is, these guys need to understand we are trying to help them. When as a physiotherapist or a conditioning coach or a coach says, you need to take a 3 days rest and work on your strength
Yeah.
or mobility, that has to be done because that is required for your body to continue playing.
Right.
If you hide
Yeah.
hide the injury, you are not cheating me, you are cheating yourself.
Right. Perfect.
And this is what I tell all the athletes. If you have something, please
Yeah.
attend to it in the beginning before it becomes worse.
Well, correct.
What happens is most of the times, they hide an injury. Over a period of time, it becomes a chronic injury where they had to give a rest of only 3 days will become 3 weeks.
Right. Right, sir.
So that's a lot. That's a lot of time lost in any sport, and that is what we don't want in the younger generations.
Yeah, that's a very important point which you actually made. Seriously, most of the kids have to understand this. And I think one of our friend Vijay is here with us.
Yeah, hi Vijay. Yeah.
Yeah, Vijay has a quick question. His question is, how much importance you give for injury prevention and what do you work?
Injury, that is the most important thing, I think, in any sport. And most of the academies, most of the professional academies or pro players work on these lines. Injury prevention is a priority. Any coaching program, any fitness program should be based on injury prevention. I will try and explain quickly as to how a process of injury prevention program happens. It used to be after an injury, there used to be rehabilitation, but now the same exercises are being used to condition the muscles and joints to prevent an injury, which has become a prehabilitation. It is a prehab now.
Yeah, prehab.
So this the prehab concept has come into play, a big role in sports.
Yes.
So the process is like, initial assessment is very, very important as to understanding the body type, previous history of injuries, the flexibility, the mobility of the joints, whatever is required. Then working on the strength, if strength is lacking, prevents injury. Working on the joint flexibility, joint and muscle flexibility, if you are tight or if you are inflexible, and then are you making use of the muscles and joints in the right way? That means the technical part of it. So these basically form a good injury prevention program. So ideally, if you are working, and again, I cannot guarantee, like, if you follow this protocol, you are going to prevent an injury, because injuries, you never know how it is going to happen.
Absolutely.
It is inevitable in sport.
So just to add on, I think it is also important that every player, it's not same for every player, and you have to customize for every player. Assess every player and then customize a plan according to them. Somebody like if just to because this is happening, I just wanted to, sorry for the
No problem. I mean, we are talking facts. We are talking about it.
Yeah, because the one of the thing is, people before, I mean, say about 20 years ago, people used to say flat foot was not for tennis players. Right? To be frank, Mahesh Bhupati is a flat foot. Vishnu is one among them.
Yes.
And the ones whom you train, Kalyan is a flat foot, Alekhya is a flat foot. And
yes, I remember.
They've been like top 10 with amazing results. And they were not someone who, with all that, we didn't have, we were, of course, those insoles were not available then very often. I mean, it is available now, 10 years ago. But then now it is all available. Just to add on, everything is available to do it. It's just that the coach, the physio, or the trainer, because these three are very important in a tennis player or a badminton player or any sportsman's part. And they need to have a deep understanding of biomechanics. Being a coach,
they definitely have to be. Yes. Yeah. So adding to this, I just want to say, Kiran sir rightly mentioned, not every athlete is the same. Individual athletes need to be assessed individually. They have to be given their own personalized programs, injury prevention programs, rehabilitation, whatever it may be. But at the same time, this same thing becomes challenging when it is a group programs. So if I say, for example, if we have a group of 20 kids training in an academy for one batch,
Yeah.
It becomes merely impossible to give each and every single person one different program and ask them to work and monitor. Monitoring becomes very difficult. Giving a program probably is still possible, but if I say somebody has to work on their leg strength, somebody has to work on their back strength, somebody has to work on their glute strength, somebody has to work on the shoulder strength. Not all 20 people can, although we can give a program to all the 20 people, but when they are doing it, monitoring is very, very important. And that becomes the biggest challenge.
Right.
So as players, I think this message is for the players. You guys needs to understand that when you understand the biomechanics of your body, that makes you a better player. So what you have to do is you have to try to make sure that you are getting the right technique whenever you do an exercise or whenever you're doing a drill on the court, off the court. Doing the right thing is important. What happens is, if you are not using the muscles and joints, the biomechanics, if it is not used in the right way, it leads to other problems rather than improving on what we are trying to work.
Right.
So most of the times people come with a little bit of niggles. Small niggles are fine, but sometimes it is important to understand whether it is a niggle predisposing to an injury. So we need to take care. Even I have a small suggestion for the coaches to advise for the coaches. Like when your player comes to you and says that he has a problem, I think it is important we need to believe first. We cannot judge whether they are lying or they are telling you the truth, but
Right.
Believing that what they are saying is right, we need to make sure that we guide them in the right way, rather than saying that, hey, I don't believe you, you are lying. You don't want to put your word off by saying such things, because very soon you will understand whether the player is telling you the truth or not.
Right.
So both ways, I think you should, the coaches and the players have to come to a agree or understanding that
And
yes, this
understanding.
is
Yeah.
really a problem.
Yeah.
This is really a problem, and we need to fix this. And there are departments, and like rightly you said, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, when we talk about these insoles and proper customized footwears, and these things were not available. But now technology has improved so much that we have everything available at the click of a button.
Absolutely.
So when an advice is given, you got to believe that is true. And you cannot always think like, if you have that little bit of doubt, that is not going to help.
Yeah, and it's better to clear that off before, rather
Yeah.
than putting inside back of the mind. Yeah.
Yes, it is very important to do that. So injury prevention, guys, is the most important thing. What we do here in our academy right now, the Ahmedabad Racquet Academy, is the same thing. Our programs are all designed towards injury prevention. We work, like you all know, coming to the training part of it, there used to be a lot of old school methods, sir. You remember, old school
Yeah,
methods.
of course.
LB Stadium mein jao, do the steps training for 45 minutes,
Right.
1 hour.
Right.
All these things
So
were,
it's same for tennis, badminton, football, everything. It's same for everything. Every sport.
All players used to go run on the steps in LB Stadium, I remember.
Absolutely.
At a point,
First run on the ground. First run on the ground, then staircase running,
Yes.
then some sprints,
Yes.
and then you sit on that and do all the stretchings, and then that's it.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, and it used to work. Maybe for some of them, it definitely worked.
Yes.
Even that,
Yeah.
we have created champions. We had better
Absolutely.
players, but now the world is more moving towards scientific things. So a lot of things based on the science. So the what we do here at the academy is, again, we follow the same thing. We do a proper assessment. Every athlete who walks into the academy undergoes a fitness test, a postural analysis, an assessment is done, a report is given, a program is designed, and they have to follow that program for a given specific time. and then
Right.
from there we take the person to the next level of training, and this is what happens here. So
Sure.
we are having a more scientific approach towards managing a player.
Sure. Sir, there's a complicated question from my side. Okay.
Yes,
It's
I
also
will try and answer
simple.
it.
Let's keep it simple. But, sir, very simple. Now, our Indians in terms of badminton are the best in the world, right? In terms of fitness, our guys are killing it. Okay. But the same thing when it comes to tennis. Okay. We lack fitness, right? So of course, just like you mentioned some time ago, because it is a shorter version and faster version. This is a longer and endurance based version, in
Yes,
the racket sport. So
yes,
can you just explain that?
yes. I will try and explain. I'm not sure
Yeah.
how much I'll be able to justify that.
So
Um,
because you traveled with badminton players, how our
yes,
Indians were superior. See, today Indians, those who train under you, are much superior players today. So obviously all that basics,
yes,
everything
yes,
from there. Then again, the same thing when it is coming to this, everybody has this feeling. Okay, maybe Indians are not fit in singles. That's the reason they are opting. More of them, more players are opting for doubles.
yeah,
Because they sustain singles. So
yeah.
just your observation.
I think, yes, my observation. I think a lot of factors have have to play a role here. Um, the most important thing is, like, if I relate it to badminton, when I was working with the badminton players, I think
Hmm.
infrastructure played a big role there,
Right,
because we had a proper setup of everything. We had a proper
right,
gym.
yeah,
The facility was world class. Then we had physios all around during the training sessions. We had physios taking care of the players. So infrastructure and the facilities, I think, what we provide to the player is
huh?
one of the roles which play. Number
Hmm.
two, I think the nutrition and hydration plays a big role.
Yeah,
This is the other factor. When we compare this to Americans and Europeans and other
hmm,
countries, the Western countries,
yeah,
the kind of nutrition we they have and the kind of food we eat, there is a lot of difference, because their food is more based protein proteinaceous
yeah,
food
right,
they eat.
yeah.
Unlike in India, we use a lot of carbs based
Top
food,
place. Yeah, yeah,
because
exactly.
especially down south, it is more
Yeah.
like, we are dependent more
More
on the
carbs.
rice and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah, rice and
So yeah, so how much nutritional value you are getting out of it, and how much your body is benefiting, is one thing. The other thing, I think, I don't want to discriminate any department, or I don't want to criticize and insult
no, no, no,
anyone
nothing,
here, but
nothing.
the truth is the trainers per se, whoever the strength and conditioning coaches who are working in academies these days,
Hmm.
need to have a good knowledge about the sport, number one, a good knowledge about the body anatomy and physiology, a good
Right.
knowledge about biomechanics, the
Yeah,
a good knowledge about the technical aspect of the sport,
yeah.
because their programs needs to be based on all these aspects. Because
Hmm.
if you try and if an athlete, for example, a sprinter who used to sprint during his career 100 and 200 meters or 400 meters even, for that matter, if you come and you do the training drills what you used to do as an athlete to a
Hmm.
tennis player,
Yeah,
I don't see the tennis player becoming a better player.
absolutely. His general fitness
So
might grow a little bit, but nothing
yes,
specific to the
specific
game.
specific fitness, yes, it is going to make a lot of difference. So the trainers and coaches need to have a basic knowledge about all this stuff. The other thing is the players have to, most important, I believe, the players have to take ownership of responsibility. That is more important.
Right.
The players have to keep their fitness levels in condition to to compete, because at the end of the day, why are you doing your practice? Why are you playing this sport? Because you want to compete and you want to win matches. And if you are not fit to play, how are you going to achieve? Is number one, the first question. The second thing is, how long are you going to sustain? If your fitness levels are not good, you play first round, second round, and you're done. Although you are winning matches, you have no energy left for your third match, your third round or third day. And
Perfect.
moreover, if you are playing 2 or 3 matches in a day, that's even more challenging. So
Absolutely.
how are you giving your body that fuel, the nutrition part, the hydration part, the conditioning part? So it is a combination of that. And the last aspect of an athlete is the recovery, which I think the Indian setup has um, a drawback on this part. I mean, at a professional level, the big guys, the big names, they do it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
all the big names, Leander, Mahesh Bhupati, and Yuki Bambi,
Right.
Ankita Raina, all these players at that pro level, they understand the importance, because I happen to
Right.
speak to them. I happen to see a few of them, and I worked, I work with Zeel Desai and all these people here.
Absolutely.
So we give
Right.
a lot of importance to recovery. What
Right.
happens at a slightly lower level, at a sub pro level,
Yeah.
is recovery is not given any importance. A lot
Right.
of athletes, what happens is, after a match or after a training session, 70 to 80%, call it even 90% of the players just pick their kit bags, they chat, and they go home. And
Right.
that has a lot of detrimental effect on your body.
Right.
If you
True.
are not giving a good recovery session, if you are not recovering your body, you are not going to perform better in the next match. What is recovery? My answer is always the recovery is not what you did after the session. Recovery is how you went to the next session.
Perfect.
Okay.
Right.
So I think that is what is more important. So all these aspects play a big role in the in a player's
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
like you asked me a question, ki Indians, why are they like this? I think we are lacking infrastructure, because how many academies today in India have a proper gym facility to improve our strength? Because if you see the pro players, they are all big guys. They are not lean guys. They are all big guys. They have a
Absolutely.
huge body. You can see the muscles. You can see they are
Yeah.
well built. They are
Yeah.
hitting at 190 miles an hour. Um, uh, that's a lot of power, and that requires a good strength, a good build. And again, the body type, I think not all of them are in that athletic or
Yeah.
athletic group, what we call. Like, in India, particularly if we have 100 players, then maybe we have maybe one or two who actually are athletic and well built, who are made for the
Okay.
sport, we can call. Yeah,
Okay.
but some of them work it through. Some of them, they understand, they work it through. We have a good group of players who are performing well at a higher competitive level. But are we say fit enough to compete at a very high level amongst, like, the Europeans and Western players? I am not sure what answer I can give. Maybe
Yeah.
down the line, a few years from now, maybe we will be one of the, like,
Yeah.
badminton is doing really well right now, so tennis also will pick up, I'm sure, because a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
of people are understanding the importance of
Yeah,
fitness
now
and all
I
these
think
things.
in the last couple of years, I mean, last 5 years to be precise, people have actually understood the importance of, nutrition, recovery, and, with all the ice bath and all these coming into
Yes.
the thing, and use. And the most important thing, what I wanted to, ask you is, people don't realize that. Coach is important for the technical aspect. The trainer is important for the physical aspect. And the physio is also very important. The use of
Yes.
physio in Indian tennis, not just, I won't say Indian tennis, maybe cricket. Just had I think cricket also has changed for the last few years. Cricket, every
Yes.
team now has a physio and a trainer along with the coach and assistant coach, a fielding coach, everything. So
Oh, for sure. Yes.
tennis players don't use. I always thought tennis players don't use physio well. They use trainer well, services of the trainer well, but they don't use the. How important is the using the services of the physio?
It is very important, sir. If you ask me, I'm not biased here because I'm a
Yeah. No, I'm
physiotherapist.
the
But
coach here. Okay, I just wanted to tell. We have a trainer, we have a coach, and you are the physio. Okay, how can a physio be of help to? See, ultimately, all three of us working on a child,
yes,
a
yes,
player, and I'll be of one help. Trainer is of one help. How is that importance of? How can the physio help that kid do better?
yes. I want to make a point here. Physio should not always be looked upon as a person who needs to be attended or seen when somebody has an injury.
Right.
So they are not made injury specialists. They are injury prevention specialists as well.
Absolutely.
So I think physio's role here is most important is to make sure that the injuries don't happen by giving a proper, because they are well aware of anatomy, the body mechanics. So they are very important in designing the programs for you in terms of rehabilitation, and rehabilitation obviously comes after an injury, but prevention of an injury, the physiotherapy will guide you in a better way because they have a good knowledge about your body.
Perfect.
For example, if somebody has an history of ankle injury, which is one of the most common injuries we see, or maybe tennis elbow for that matter. These are common terms we use. So how do you prevent not the tennis elbow not to recur again, or an ankle injury not to recur again? No guarantees, but still, you can definitely avoid them
Try to
at
prevent
least
it.
90% of the times. So the physio role comes here very important, because the physio knows how to give you a good rehab program. The physio can assess your muscles and joints. The physio can decide what range of movement your muscles have to work, what range of movement your joints have to work, how much force has to be produced, all these
Right.
things. And based on these, they give you a program, and they have a structured program which gradually has the load, increasing load on the process of exercise, or the regimen, whatever they give, the
Yeah,
protocol,
correct.
what
Correct.
you have. So once that the physio comes in and he gives you an exercise, you need to follow it because you need to get into shape to play the sport. So when the
Right.
physio is telling you you need to work on your forearm flexibility because you have a history of tennis elbow, every 6 weeks or 8 weeks you have small niggle on your elbow every time when you are playing a tournament. So because
Perfect.
your forearm muscles are stiff, you need to do a good stretching program, and he might give you 2 or 3 stretching exercises. I'm just asking the
Right.
players who are watching this,
Yeah.
how many times a stretching program can be, like, if you're given 2 stretches for a forearm, it hardly takes 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Uh, do you really find it difficult to give those 2 minutes to your body? Is my first question.
Yeah.
Second question is, you need to ask yourself how committed you are. If you
Right.
really want to make sure that you don't get that injury, you please do what the physio tells you.
Right.
Second, the physio also plays, as everybody knows, the world knows, ki physio's most important role they think is after an injury. Sure, it is. After an injury, if you have to come back, there is a protocol for every single injury. If you have a back pain, there is a certain protocol. Usually, a back pain takes about 3 to 6 weeks. Somebody who's got a major injury like an ACL tear or a fracture, it takes about 6 to 12 months easily. You know, uh, they have a process, they have a structured program, they have a protocol, they have to follow. They give you the guidelines, they guide you through. So that's where it comes. And
Right.
the most important thing, the physio also plays the biggest role in recoveries. Here,
Right.
here at Ahmedabad Racquet Academy, particularly recovery, um, conditioning of an athlete, so is important. So here what we do is we make sure that we have recovery programs every weekends. So most of the times I think Saturdays is usually match play in most of the academies. So after every match play, we do some or the other type of recovery every week to ease off the whole load which we have given through the week. So we do ice baths, we do pool recovery, we do yoga, we do cardio. Cardio is not just fitness, we do cardio for recovery as well. We do a proper foam rolling, we do Pilates, we do PNF stretching. There are so many different types of recovery things, and all these things can scientifically be given to you only by a physio. And of course, a strength and conditioning coach who has gone through the proper program, who has done a proper course, a certified course, who knows the basics about all these things. So recovery programs is where the physio also plays a very, very important role. So I think it is before, during, after is where all three parts of the game.
Yeah, just like how the coach, physio, and trainer plays only little part, but then coach only plays during the session, but before the session, during the session, and after the session, physio is the most important.
100%, sir. 100%.
Perfect answer. Perfect. I think that's what is missing. I think once everybody realizes the importance of that, I think we're going to have better results as well, performances from the players, and
100%. Because you are making a complete athlete.
Right.
Every person's role makes the player a complete athlete. It makes them a champion, basically. So each and every department has a very important role to play. Even a masseur, for that matter, like in the Indian camp, we used to have a separate masseur. And everybody used to be given, like the roster used to be given like this. During this week, on Monday, so and so person, Tuesday X, Wednesday Y. So these person, they have to go and get the match. So the masseur was there in the campus. So everybody used to get their massages done. So what I'm trying to say is, it is very important that player takes care of their body.
Yeah, absolutely. You said masseur very important, because I think even while recovery, with ice bath and doing all that things in the pool, at times you have to release the muscles. That is only possible with the help of a masseur.
Yes, 100%.
So many
every single person has an important role to play in making a complete athlete. Every single person. Even the parents. If any of the parents are watching, I would like to say, the parents, you also play a very, very important role. I understand parents have a lot of ambitions, they have a lot of expectations, but please give time to your child. Do not expect results and things to happen overnight. It is not going to happen.
Right.
I just want to say, I've told this many times to a lot of players. The first title Saina Nehwal ever won was after 13 years ever since she started playing badminton.
Right.
So it took her 13 years to win her first international title. And if you are expecting this to happen in 15 days, it is not going to happen.
Absolutely.
So parents, whoever is watching this, please make sure you enjoy with your kid the sport, whatever sport they are in. You enjoy with them. You talk about things. You talk about positive things. Parents' role is also very, very important, because your one expression during their practice session or during their match makes a lot of difference in winning or losing. One expression, your head going like this, or you're doing that, it changes the whole match.
Yes.
Please put a poker face. Stay there like that, like a statue. Your son or daughter will win the match for sure.
Yeah. So we are getting into the last minute of our conversation, because as I wanted to just tell everyone that, anyways, we planned for another specific, tennis specific or, sport specific program sometimes this coming week. So here we'll have to sign off.
Sure, sir. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for taking time from your off.
It is a pleasure always, sir. It is always a pleasure. And thank you everyone for joining in. I hope you had some or the other message to carry from this session.
Yes.
So please stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, all of you.
Yep.
Take care of yourself. We will come out of this. We will win.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Take care.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.